This town is crying out, fuck all the trends. Bickers grabbing coffee with some underground gems. It's Rogues FM. Rogues FM.
Oh shit, my background's gone. It's already gone.
Melting.
The illusion. Lewis looks very serious. Lewis, you know we're recording, darling.
I'm going to take this background off. It's annoying.
It's pissing me off as well. Yeah, I tried not to.
I'm gonna add a background because I feel alone.
Lewis, your background says darkness now. You're just in the dark.
As it should be. As it should be. Oh, that was meant to be red, but didn't work out as well. Oh.
Try again. Try again.
As it should be.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what I've been listening to all day, Lewis. I think it was either you or Seb recommended it on the Wink one. That band called You.
Oh, that was Seb.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
that's so good.
Fucking good.
I've been listening.
Their new single and the album they released, and I've just been going all day.
Neil, what are you doing?
Neil, get up. Listen to Overcoast now. Promo. Fucking. I've been listening to The Voids all day.
Oh yeah.
Back to back, Tyranny and fucking.
The
What's the
Voids
other
is
one?
not like sunshine music though. That's not what you listen to.
I don't know, but some of this stuff is like Leave It in My Dreams.
Outside, like British summertime, is like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to Human Sadness.
I've not been listening to music recently. I've been fucking on the podcast grind. Honestly, I've been learning stuff about everything.
About yourself.
Everything.
In a spirit.
In a spirit, in a being.
Like about random stuff. Like the one I listened to today, there was one about. I've just started one about the sitcom Friends, which honestly is, I don't know.
You did not need to say the sitcom in front of that.
Yeah, this is the underground.
Well, you might have thought I was talking about. You might have thought I was talking about the bloody concept of friendship.
No one knows. How are we gonna make this work?
To be fair, we were like 2 degrees off of just talking about the new Strokes album.
Literally, we were about to.
We decided to cut it, and we just did that the next night.
Yeah, literally. Like,
We
I don't know.
listened to the whole fucking thing together and just chatted about it.
It was so nice because I gave you a bell. I gave you like a little FaceTime, and we just whacked on the Abnormal, and we just listened to the whole thing cover to cover. It's so good.
Great.
Then after that, I listened to so
It
good.
is. It actually is.
So
I
good.
was expecting the new, because like, at least whilst I've been aware of them, anything new that the Strokes have released has been a bit like hit and miss. I mean, mostly miss, to be honest. I would listen to it and like, because they released an EP and it had like one good song in it. I was like, yeah. So when they announced the new album, I was like, it's probably gonna be a bit shit. You know, they've had their time, and it's actually maybe my favorite Strokes album.
Yeah, it's my favorite Strokes album.
Fucking good.
I like it more than the debut. Like,
it's just dangerous. I feel like I might get stoned in the street if I say that. Like, on video.
no, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's. I was saying to you, it's a perfect album for now.
Yeah,
because it's like
it's always nicer when decent bands release a new album. Like when you think that they've sort of had their time.
Literally, like I was saying to you, it's the same sort of complex like Tranquility Base, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like it's your
Look at Lewis's face.
We're sitting here just
drinking. Actually, wait,
we've had our talk about this.
We've had our talk about this before. Aidan, can you
tell us about Tool, Lewis? Tell us a bit.
Yeah, talk about Tool, Lou. Come on.
Funnily enough, I was just listening to Tool just now, and I discovered that the bassist does lots of remixes of certain songs, including a Foals song, which I actually sent to our group chat. I'm not sure if any of you saw it.
Song.
But
that's a good shame.
Yeah,
I sent it to the group chat, but
no one saw it.
None of you saw it.
Did you send it to the group chat? When?
Girl, literally 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes
ago.
ago.
I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have seen it. Which was the remix?
I don't know what it was called. But it was really good, and it had some bass line in.
I was busy. That's why I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, guys. Anyway, I love Tool.
Have you listened to a podcast about Tool yet?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I have.
You could just listen to
what could
no, because you hear Tool talking, you don't hear them playing. It's completely different.
It's like a director's commentary of a film. It's like they're just talking over the music.
Yeah, me and Mia were going to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings again, and then I was like, we did that fairly recently. Let's watch all of the commentary of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, dude, right, I can't get into Lord of the Rings. I can't do it.
Oh, Mika.
I can't do it.
Get the
No,
fuck
fuck
out.
you. No, like.
Do you like Led Zeppelin?
Are we
Right.
allowed to kick that?
Wait, hang on.
What's that
I
got to do with anything?
I might be able to mute people.
Wait,
Oh, can you? Oh,
wait,
excellent.
wait, no. What's Led Zeppelin got to do with?
Dude, have you
Mate,
listened
are
to
you kidding?
Led Zeppelin? Most Led
Zeppelin's rock talk.
He's been fucking muted.
Muted.
Mika, most Led Zeppelin songs, oh no, not most, a lot of them take
I hate you,
inspiration
Neil.
from Tolkien books.
Yeah, there's literally.
Yeah, I
there's
know,
a line
but-
in oh shit, is it Ramble On? Where he's talking about Gollum and like the evil wizard.
Yeah.
Misty Mountain Hop.
Yeah.
It's Night and Hop, Battle of Evermore. Is that Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Silmarillion or something.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, like I don't hate it. I watched
Isn't
the first
sun
one.
grow on a tree in the Silmarillion? Or some
Huh?
shit.
I don't know. Like I watched the
I've not
first
read it.
one, I loved it, but I just sort of stopped after the second one. And like The Hobbit, I've seen all the Hobbit films and got bored way out of my.
The
I
Hobbit-
mean, to be fair, Lord of the Rings fans got bored of the Hobbit films.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I-
literally.
don't-
My mum
don't
is one of
talk to
them.
me about the-
Okay, right, fair enough. Okay, I'll give him another go. I'll give him another go.
Don't mention the fucking Hobbit.
The what?
Don't mention
What?
your Hobbit.
The what? The
Don't
what?
mention your Hobbit.
Don't mention your.
Why are you having a
No,
stroke?
just,
Why is it-
Don't mention the Hobbit.
Aiden, show us your whiskey. Because I have like 3 beers.
Ah,
Aiden,
dear
just show
me.
us what you have here, please. Because you're such a small boy. You're such a little lad. But look at that!
Oh,
I
Like you
just-
text in the group chat, like I'm gonna buy some whiskey, and you bring this.
Yeah, I mean, I think my cousin got me this recently, and I was like, oh, I get some whiskey, I'll fill it up. And then I was like talking to my mum as I was filling it up, and I looked, and it was completely fucking full. I thought, yeah,
Okay.
it's all right. I can
Yeah.
do that. It'll do.
so
Oh,
wait,
God.
how much does that hold a bottle? Or does that hold
Yeah,
more
what
than a
is
bottle?
that?
That's a bottle of whiskey.
That's a whole
That's
bottle of
like-
whiskey.
Really? That looks like a lot. Can you hold it next to your head?
Yeah. Go on and compare here. Holy shit!
Oh shit, that's a head full.
one. That's an Aiden's
Yeah.
skull. That's a
It's a head
Aiden,
full.
that could fill your skull.
that could
Yeah,
fill your
I
skull,
mean,
like Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull vodka, very good.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, very good.
Crystal. Damn. That'd be
Oh,
great.
dude, this reminds me that the whole origins of this band for all of us lay on the effects of alcohol.
That was a great segue.
Thank
yeah,
you.
fantastic segue to bring it back
This is
round
why I'm the
to something
host.
that's actually relevant.
This is me trying to pull you back down here. No, like I was thinking about this right before we came on. Like
Yeah.
me, Aiden, no, fuck, not me and Aiden. Sorry, Aiden, not yet. Me,
Aiden?
Neil,
Who
and,
the fuck is
and
Aiden?
Lewis. Yeah, fuck that guy, man.
What? You just said me, Aiden, and Lewis, and then just took a drink. You
That
completely
was
Alright,
we didn't even
alright,
need to do
hang on,
that.
alright,
That was incredible.
alright, hang on,
Wait,
hang on.
no.
Make it, go again.
Okay, so we being me, Neil, and Lewis were very, very drunk.
I love
don't
it.
know.
I love
I'm
it.
sorry.
I don't know if it's going to be muted in the video or not. It could just be a fucking. It could just be.
It's a good
you can still
point,
hear
we'll
me.
find
We'll
out.
find out.
We'll find
Oh
out,
my
won't
gosh!
we?
Right.
All right, I'm done with that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Jesus Christ. We were very pissed at Mia's house, very drunk. Lewis was being particularly weird, and then we started
Oh,
chatting
we were
shit.
all being weird.
Oh, we were all
No.
being weird.
It was just Lewis.
To be fair,
granola.
protein. I haven't got to that part yet, but yeah, we were rummaging
Hey,
around
Ian
her
told
fridge.
me that story recently. I didn't know that story.
Yeah,
What?
this is how we
That was
this is how we
very
got
funny.
together. Because Lewis drunkenly mentioned that like something about bass and something of me about learning guitar, and then Neil was like, "Start a band." And I think in the video I've still got it. It's like Lewis is like, "Think about it, boys: drums, bass, guitar. It's a band." And Neil was like, "We can start a band." And then we just don't go to sleep. And then like you rummage the fridge, and then that's what gave birth to protein granola.
And we
And
found we were trying to find bread. That was our main mission. We were
Oh, and
trying
you
to
ate
find
these
bread.
pickles, but like in the
Pickles.
video, like
Yes.
like
Fucking
dribbling the
psycho
juice out
woman
your mouth.
doesn't have any bread in her fucking.
Oh yeah, we flipped
She
our
does,
shit.
she puts it in
There was only bread in the freezer. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they freeze
What the
their
fuck
bread.
is that?
Yeah, it's fucked, isn't it?
It's fucked.
It's
Why
sickening.
would you? Why would you? I don't
Why
know.
would you do that?
Milk.
Mia,
Huh?
if you're watching this, what the fuck, man?
She will be watching.
He does it in Leeds as well.
Yeah, nightmare. The shit that Lewis has to put up with in that house.
Disgusting.
Frozen
It's not
bread,
like-
frozen bread.
It's not like he
Explicitly the
puts
shit
some
that
mattress
Lewis has
over
to
her
put up
door or
with.
anything.
Nah, that's all right. Honestly, I don't really see Mia that much when I live with her. Like she's the person I see the least.
Like I honestly, before I came down to visit you guys in Leeds, I pictured your flat being like the flat in the Gorillas video for Do Your Thing. You know how
Oh.
Murdoch's got like the fucking chair, like the little Zimmer frame. He just sits in like,
Bah-bah.
yeah, he just
Lewis-
throws his shoes at him. That's how I pictured it.
Lewis has Hans Zimmer in his door frame.
I keep Hans Zimmer in my house.
Yeah. He's there playing
Let
the
me
organ.
out. I must compose cinematic masterpieces.
Fuck.
Is that the tool? Yeah.
Stop.
Is it? Oh, what's that thing he says in the masterclass episode? It's like,
Oh,
if
it's
you
like
have
Oh,
it's a
no.
conversation.
You have to break
It's a
it.
conversation.
Oh, it's a conversation.
Music is a
That's a
conversation.
question. There's an answer.
As an answer.
Oh,
There's
dodgy
a
question.
dodgy answer.
He's got his glasses like down. He's like,
Yeah. The 4 French horns, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Every time that comes up, I watch that whole fucking thing.
yeah,
It's
same here.
dangerous. It's dangerous.
He's got a
So
great
good.
voice. He's
He's
like
awesome.
very easy to listen to. Yeah.
He's
What's the
awesome.
one? Oh, what's the guy's name from
Matt Bellamy.
Ruble.
No, not him.
Ruble?
The guy from
Tom
John
Morello.
Travolta.
Tom Morello.
Against the Machine.
Tom
Hitler.
Morello.
Tom
Yeah.
Morello.
His one's
That's
really
a
good,
machine.
apparently. The Neil Gaiman one. The Neil Gaiman one's
I
awesome.
would love that.
Yeah, what?
Huh?
Huh?
Neil Gaiman.
Neil, your
Yeah.
masterclass in
Don't
call Neil
Gaiman
that.
is... No, I wasn't calling him anything, I promise. I'm just letting him know that we
You
support
fucking
him. no matter what.
homophobic
Could you?
scat.
I don't know if he's going to be over there.
On this video,
He's there for me.
Realize that it's just us talking shit. And it's just
We're going to get no
what's
views on
around.
this.
Dude,
We're going to
I
get
think-
no views.
Honestly, I think
That's
edit
fine.
it. I really do think you should edit this one.
No,
There's shit in my whiskey.
that's
Oh.
just the whiskey.
FM's
Neil.
not even a word.
What does it mean?
Fm?
Mm.
Fm? Huh?
Or
What the hell is
fum?
that?
For men.
Stupid fucking
Rogues
name.
for men,
Frequency.
it's a new fragrance.
It's like a fragrance.
Rogues Fm.
A fragrance that just stinks of like vomit and cheap fags.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Rogues for men. Fum.
SMT.
Wait, it smells of neck oil and cheap fags.
Yeah, and
Neck
also
oil
like
just reminds me of Rogues. Now.
like the residue of like spoons at 2 a.m. is full of old people.
Oh,
Like that smell of
Oh.
like carpet and stickiness.
Spoons closes
That's
that
very
one.
good.
You're
sound
fucking phony.
fake fan.
Not going to Lockins, boy.
Just sound
Oh,
like
well.
you said, like the residue of old people. It was really horrible.
It's like- well, Neil Spoons has been closed for longer for the month now.
Longer
So-
than
No. It's open. It's open.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was open. To be fair,
Guys, should we go to Spoons right now?
let's go Spoons.
Oh
So
my
move it
God,
to
let's
Spoons.
go to
Didn't we
Yeah,
didn't we let on Aiden whilst we were drunk, Lewis? Because remember you called me one time middle of the night when you were in Spoons with Aiden. You were like, oh, you know Aiden plays guitar, right? And
I
Yes.
remember this.
Oh, I just remember that.
Then,
Yeah,
then you asked him. Apparently Aiden. Yeah, I wasn't there.
People.
yeah. Me and Aiden, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aiden, go on.
No, because I was just gonna say you were like, oh yeah, we're just because you were telling me about Rogues Gallery, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I think you were like saying that practice, like you hadn't actually got all of you together yet. You play guitar, don't you, Aiden? It's like, yeah. And then it all came together. And you
I'm
called
just
Mika
upping the
there and
workload
then.
on
As
purpose.
soon as
Highly
I was like,
probably,
yeah, all right, you
definitely.
were like, I'm calling Mika, and you called
Yeah.
him like
Yeah.
at whatever it was in the morning.
Like 12 at midnight.
I remember that because I went to the bathroom just to call you.
Yeah, you did. You're like, oh, mate, I'm in the bathroom. You know Aiden, that guy we saw last week at Flying Cox? Yeah, he wants to play guitar.
Fucking knew Mika.
Yeah, you didn't even know me. I didn't
Never
even know
met
you.
you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
I,
we-
No, I
'cause-
met Neil once. That was
I,
it.
I barely knew Aiden, or maybe
Yeah,
I did.
Because I
I mean,
remember
I knew Aiden went to the same school. We went to the
Yeah.
same school, but you were the year above.
I met Aiden and Isaac because me and Lewis just finished a writing sesh for Rogues. We wrote like 3 songs. We went to get pissed. Ended up at Fighting Cox and Hal were playing when you were called
Oh,
Hal.
yeah.
And then just as a 2-piece, like one, I think it might have been your first gig.
Probably was first or
It
second.
was. I think it was the first gig, and I remember
Our first
chatting.
2 or 3 were all there.
Yeah, I remember chatting to Isaac about how like his rap pedal. Oh yeah, that was it. Because me and Lewis trying to figure out the pedals you guys were using. I think.
Oh yeah.
Well, Lewis was. 'Cause
That was
he's-
the
Yeah,
horn,
I
wasn't
was.
it? That was the horn.
No,
mate.
no, because we were going
No,
like, oh, is that a Hall of
no.
Fame or is that a rat? Because I remember I asked Isaac what rat he's got and if
We
he took
found
the
it
back
in
off
an
his strap.
attic,
Yeah,
Like, just Isaac when Isaac started picking up guitar again. Seriously, he was just rummaging through the attic to look for some old Jack Leeds or something like that. And he
Yeah.
just found a fucking 250 quid rat pedal.
So
that you can't
good.
really get anymore.
From the 80s,
good.
right?
was that the white one?
Yeah, something
Or
like
was that the?
It's one of the ones that needs a weird power supply because it's fucking old.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
So dope. But yeah, that's when I first met you. We chatted for 5 minutes, but it didn't go beyond the, oh, nice set, man. Cheers. Oh,
Yeah.
no, but then I saw you next week in Watford, right? because we
Yes,
went to
Frank
see
Carter.
Wink. No. Oh yeah, Frank Carter, and then we saw Wink.
I met Neil for the first time at that Wink gig at the Horns.
Which one was this? I vaguely remember meeting
Yeah,
you.
because you gave me a
we
lift home, Neil.
We didn't really
Yeah.
talk to each other at all because like
Didn't know. Yeah, we weren't in
That's
on
so
that
weird. Wait, were you all there at the same time?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
were
we were
there,
watching
Rob.
you.
I mean, if I was
Oh.
there, then probably because I didn't know
Watching
Mika
Wink.
that well before Rogues.
Not
So
really,
I would
no.
only have been there to see you, Lewis. So if they were there,
Aw.
Yeah, and then you
I
gave me a
remember
lift
that, Neil,
home.
because you were like, oh, because this is before we released Cold Treats, and I remember you
Yeah.
filmed the whole thing because you were like, I need the recording of that. I really like it. That's
oh
my
shit,
memory.
yeah.
Yeah. This was way before you released it.
Yeah,
And I think-
I remember that was the first time that I met Killane as well.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Clayne was there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Oh,
he
shit.
fucked up his leg or something because he had a little walking stick.
Oh, he
as
had a
well.
I remember what date it was. I remember what date it was.
What was it?
It was the 27th of May.
Hey,
Ah.
that's nearly
Do you remember how?
Because,
a year ago.
That was a
because
year ago.
it was because it was a
Wow.
day before my flatmate at the time, Naomi's birthday, and I was going up to
He's
Warwick,
frozen.
and I stopped
Oh,
off
he's
in Watford to see the gig, and then carried on,
Yes.
and then my car broke down.
Because you gave me
Oh my God.
you gave me a lift back home, and then you messaged me going, my car's just broken down, Mika.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the motorway. Yeah.
That's
Shit.
so weird. That
man.
was the first time we were all in the same place, and it was nearly exactly a year.
A week.
That's
a week from
really
now,
weird,
yeah.
guys.
When was our first rehearsal then as a full band? Was it just the day before the gig?
You mean when was our only full rehearsal?
When was our only full rehearsal as a band? I remember
Probably before the gig, yeah.
yeah, because it was weird how we all came up together because we went through like a few guitarists and other members trying to build up and write content.
I mean,
Then
this is the
really-
thing. You guys say that, but like for me, I never saw any of that.
Well, yeah.
No.
You just
So,
knew
like,
we
as
existed for
far
a
as
whole
I-
year.
As far as I
hadn't practiced with Neil before. I didn't
No.
realize that the first time I turned up. So I sort of thought I was walking into a thing where you had already been practicing with other people.
Oh, we didn't know.
And I
Yeah.
found it so funny as well that I literally like turned up at Neil's house, ready to do like a 4-hour practice session, meeting him for pretty much the first time. Like, hi, I'm Aidan. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be stuck in a sweaty room with you for the next 4 hours.
It was just so cool because you guys just clicked straight away upon
I
meeting.
know,
Like it was
It
so
wasn't-
sweet.
It wasn't straight away. It was the first. Like,
I hated that little bitch at first.
No, as in
Fucking
because I remember because like we got on fine, but yeah, it was kind of like it was like we were like it was still too early to do anything. But when we clicked was like I think the second practice.
Yeah.
I went to help pick some of you guys up because I don't remember
Yeah, I
exactly what it
remember
was.
this. Yeah.
And I went to pick up Aidan first, and then I was going to pick up Mika. It's because Lewis, you couldn't make practice. And yeah, so I picked up Aidan first, and obviously just me and Aidan in the car. And then by the time we picked up you, Mika, like 20 minutes later, we had just been talking the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was so cool because like it's like I walked in on a conversation and I felt bad interrupting when I got into the car.
Hey, you should have.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm going to mute you again now.
Oh, you fuck you.
It just kind of went from there. Me and Neil started dating, got married, 3 kids.
What are they called?
Time flies, right? We just number them.
I'm a father.
What numbers are they? What numbers are they? You
3,
number them, but what
7,
numbers?
and 5.
In that order?
We called the first one 3. The next one was 7.
Oh, not
I'm
3.
gonna get another drink. I don't know what I'm saying.
You should have a 4th kid. You should have a 4th kid and then legally rename them to 3.
This episode-
4.
This episode of Rogues Gallery is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
This Rogues Gallery episode is brought to you by Birra Moretti.
Fosters. I
Aidan's
talk about
gone.
Hobbit.
Aidan's just gone. Aidan's fully gone. He's not coming back.
I had a really good point that I was going to make, and I've completely forgotten it, guys.
Oh, you dick.
Aidan's turned into a chair.
Aidan's turned into a chair, yeah.
Would you rather have one leg or
Yes.
no arms?
Yes.
One leg, because you can just get a prosthetic. You know, you're never going to get that sensitivity back in your fingers.
But then you got to hop everywhere.
Yeah,
Dude, I'll
but,
get a prosthetic. I'll just walk.
hey, why walk when you can
prosthetic
hop, right?
broke.
Dude, if I got a
Yeah,
prosthetic
like-
leg, yes.
No, prosthetic broke.
Talking shit about.
Shh, we're gonna cut his legs off. We were talking about. Neil asked us, would we rather have Aidan one leg, as in one leg chopped off?
Would we rather have Aidan or like?
Or just one leg.
just have a leg, like a decapitated leg on stage, just standing
What?
with a guitar around it.
And then Lewis said,
In a leather
Lewis
jacket.
said one leg. Should I have one leg than being abandoned with Aiden? That's what we learned from this.
I picked the leg.
End episode.
I picked the leg.
Wait, we haven't actually clarified what.
Why is Lewis frozen in
What is
suspended animation?
Oh, he's back.
This is
Oh.
lagging so bad.
Oh,
Hello, I'm
dude.
back.
Oh,
Oh, I just got a nice notification saying my internet connection is unstable. How kind.
oh yeah, that's what we like.
Aiden, the question was, would you rather have one leg or no arms?
One leg, because you can get like
Really?
Well, yeah.
from where down, like from the hip down, like you
Yeah.
lost the whole thing. Well, I'll put it this way: I can't play guitar with both my legs, but if
You
I
can
have
try.
one of my leg and both my arms, then I can.
There's a
Also,
dude. I saw a dude that had
That's
no
fair.
arms and he played guitar with his toes. It was fucking crazy.
yeah,
It's
but
really
I
good.
can't
Oh, for
fucking do
real?
that. I can barely do it anyway.
That is not true.
No,
at
that's
all.
not true.
Actually,
remember
when,
this.
when I was
Yeah.
listening to OK Aiden, actually, I was listening out for your parts, which were very.
No,
No,
no.
such a fucking meme.
God, doing it in the lift, man. The echo in the lift.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
reverb, it was really
You know,
good.
it's actually, I realised that it's not as pronounced on the track as it is when
It's
I do it
not.
live. And I thought,
Oh,
when
you
that-
saying
everyone was
something?
doing that,
Are you saying something in that line?
He says my.
yeah,
My.
It's my. It's
My.
the Morrissey noise.
My.
What?
It's not
Really?
my, it's my.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says my.
Whoa!
My
I thought it was just like a kind of. I don't know.
Aneurysm.
Or ad lib.
What, like a fucking Michael Jackson?
Or
Yeah.
maybe just kind of like a vocal, like little trill to lead you into the verse.
To be
Oh
fair,
wow! And I remember I remember you've said this before. You've said like, oh, it's really nice to have Rogues because it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a time where you can just kind of relax a bit. There's no real
Yeah.
pressure. You
Oh,
Whoa.
fuck about
The
with some
voice just
guitar,
went
have fun
very
with it,
on.
which is really cool. I like that.
Lewis, we lost your point completely.
I've frozen again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
frozen.
you look like Boris Johnson.
You look like you're just about to shut someone down as well. You're like,
You look like you're about to like give the coronavirus
Oh.
update at 5 o'clock. Oh
I
dear.
can't hear shit, boys.
but yeah, no, wait.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. I think I'm back.
I got
Yeah.
interrupted. What were we saying?
Lots
Oh,
of
yeah,
what I
no.
hear was like I got a Boris Johnson.
But no, definitely, what you're saying is right though. Like Rose Gallery is nice because it's not like being front and center. Like obviously for my own one, I'm being front man, and it's weird because that takes more effort than you think it would, just being the one at the front.
Really?
Obviously, Callum is
Yeah.
doing more strenuous shit because, and obviously like Neil doing more strenuous shit because you're actually physically doing more.
Yeah.
But as a front man, it's just like mental pressure being. at the
Yeah.
front. I mean, at least for me.
You got to work the crowd as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not quite the sort of fucking bottled lightning that you are, Mika, when you're on stage. Just tend to-
Mika, man, oh my god.
don't, because it's weird. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
no,
at
so-
first.
Like
it's-
you
it's
have
nice
so
to
much.
know.
Pause for effect. You got so much. You've so much like energy. It's really good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man.
Although I
really
must.
good.
Oh,
I remember
I've
we
frozen
was
again.
Coming up
Yeah.
to
Oh,
the
for
first
fuck's
gig,
sake.
and we had like not practiced enough, and we were all like, "Well, the songs are pretty simple, but you know, it's Mika's first show. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
is he gonna be all right?" And then I remember looking at Lewis like, "This guy."
I remember having to count in the first song. But, like I didn't think I'd have to do this, which is a good sign if anything. But you like talk too much before we start playing.
Yeah.
Like the
Weird.
confidence just took you over, and I was like, okay, I've just got to count it in now.
Just got to do it. I'm happy you done that because I would have just made it into a shitty stand-up show with some sound effects.
Talk so much shit when I can't think of anything smart to say, and Isaac's like tuning his guitar or something. Bad.
Oh no, but like I remember at the last gig I saw you guys in February when you played with Palpitations. You were so good. Like that was the best I've seen you as a front man.
I think that might have been. Wait, was the Palpitations was like the
February one. We had the suit. We went out in
yeah,
suit style.
That
Yeah,
honestly was the best gig we've ever played.
it was the best time I've seen
Personally,
you.
that was the best time I've ever played.
Yeah.
And we were like, we've hit the swing now. Like this is us from now on. We're just
So
gonna keep
good.
getting better. And then bam, all of our gigs get cancelled.
Everyone, but
I
like,
get that mood massively because like
Yeah.
with Overcoast at uni,
yeah,
like
you had the
obviously
tour,
like,
didn't you? The
well, we
London
had
tour.
Glassflower had a London tour.
Oh, yeah.
Not a London tour, but like a 5-show tour
Yeah.
across like the south of the UK, which got cancelled. But like Glassflower is kind of coming to its natural end, anyways, because like we're all very apart over the next few years.
Oh, because
Oh, yeah,
uni's
that's the thing.
over.
Well, yeah, uni's over, and like Will is in
That's
like
the thing.
Wales and things like that. Yeah. So
Damn.
and other
dude.
people elsewhere. It's not just Will's fault for living in Wales, but
Well, yeah.
yeah. So that's coming to its end anyway. But like Overcoast finally hit its stride. Like, we won Battle of the Bands, and we had like stuff that we were ready to record, and we were ready to go in and record it, and then like everything just closed down.
God, it sucks, doesn't it?
So shit.
We were recording.
Oh, we were so unfortunate with the time.
We had
man.
I didn't really go into full depth with you boys, but I had a whole plan for the whole summer for us. I had scripts for a music video, what to do for advertising, album artworks, gigs, support acts. Because we were gonna, in my head, what we were gonna do is we're gonna drop Bad Vibes as our main single at the start of summer, or like probably even we're gonna drop it out now, mid-May.
Yeah, probably.
Because we would have finished uni, gone back home by then, and then probably drop the second single at the end of summer, and then ride off each other. Then like Christmas time, if we had time to drop another one. But
Yeah.
oh, dude, we had plans.
Yeah.
We had big plans.
I mean, at
we
the
were going to take
same
it to the next level. Like,
at the same time, though, you've got to remember it's not all
it's not all
a
about
bad
us.
thing, because when we do come back, we are in a position where, I mean, I know obviously you guys are still around in various places,
Yeah.
but I at least will be back home, and it's better to have like
Yeah.
like
Well, I'm
at least
really
one
close to you.
person back home instead
Yeah.
of like what it was before, which was all four of us being in
I mean, it would
completely
just
different
be,
parts
it
of
would
the
just
country.
be nice, wouldn't it?
I'll be the only
Just
one
like-
who's up in Leeds, and then you know I'm the bass player, and I've got a recording setup where I can send
Yeah,
shit to people.
exactly.
I can record from home as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Like it'll be all right, because what you got to
definitely.
remember is like with the music industry and everything like that, like venues might close down and stuff like that, but as soon as
Yeah.
coronavirus ends, that demand will be straight back there, and things
I
will open up
think-
again, and there'll be
honestly,
demand for bands. So it'll be all right.
I reckon we're going to see a lot more kind of like DIY gigs and shows and stuff.
Oh,
Like, it's not
yeah.
all going to be venue based. You're
There's
going to
going
have
to be a
kids
lot of
rocking up.
parties. There'll be a lot of house
Literally,
party gigs.
And
I
to be
reckon,
honest,
going to revert back to that.
Yeah.
to be honest, it doesn't make a difference to us because we're a band, and bands make no money whether or not the venue's doing well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
In truth.
So,
Yeah.
so what I'm hearing is Neil, are you going to host a fat band sesh at yours?
You're having a fucking party, cunt, because I'm so fucking ready.
Okay.
Neil, I
okay,
swear
I'll
to
keep that.
fucking God, that is exactly
Neil.
what we need after all this time, man. A fucking Neil party would be
All this time.
I
worst
haven't
thing
been to a
ever.
Neil party.
That's a plug.
cunts.
two of these guys haven't been to one of my parties.
I've not been to one of your parties.
I've not been.
Your house is a very calm place in my mind.
No.
So I've only ever been there.
Oh
mate.
my man, I've only ever had two parties, and Lewis has
Oh,
been to
really?
both of them, like two big parties like that, and Lewis has been to both of them.
I
Unless
don't
you
remember the
died at both
second
of them.
one.
There was the one in Lem.
Oh, that wasn't at your house though, mate. Oh, but
I
that
mean,
wasn't.
true,
I get
but-
that was a Neil party. Yeah,
Technically, it
and
was his
I did die at both of them, mate. Well, yeah.
Whilst Lewis made a very interesting point.
About me pissing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said basically what happens is once the body kind of reaches its limit
You don't have to
in
do
terms of
this.
liquids it can indulge in,
Lewis,
Lewis, stop. Oh my god.
it secretes them
Oh, Lewis,
through the
this
urethra.
out.
Anyway, my point was that we are.
Someone mute him.
My point was, sorry boys, that we are in technicality a supergroup.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Wait,
I can't believe I
yeah.
waited all that time for that.
We're
I just sit
technically-
through talk about urethra.
Oh, dear man.
Lewis was.
I wish I knew more about how piss worked. Like that could have dragged on for a while.
But yeah, just for sake of time, I think we should all drink a relatively decent amount in a relatively short amount of time.
Yes.
Oh
To
yeah,
speed things up a
100%.
bit.
Oh god.
All right.
Right. Well, what should we do
Cheers,
then? Should we have
boys.
cheers, boys.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Fucking hell.
Neil, are you making your famous cocktail?
I am not. I don't have the ingredients for that.
Oh, the
Shame.
cocktail from that
That's
night.
Serrano I saw.
Yes. All I've got is this Serrano and Coke
Okay,
because I got
boys.
it I got it on my birthday. And
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
no,
nice.
I don't have much
Yeah.
either. I'm kind of running low.
That much.
You're
was a
running
whole
low.
bottle that could fill your skull.
What was I going to say earlier though? I had a point that I was going to make.
Before you
boys,
do,
I'll come
for the
back to it,
thumbnail.
yeah. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Oh, cute. Mine's empty. Fuck.
We're talking about like cancelling shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the most tragic one I've heard is Lewis, your metal band. That's just
Oh, dude.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right,
literally
yeah.
a 1 year thing, wasn't it?
You've been waiting for so long. I remember.
At the start of first year, right? I had put myself out there and like, hey, look, I want to join loads of bands, get loads of experience, and I joined this metal band made of third years, and I put lots of time and effort into this. I put lots of practice sessions outside of hours and stuff.
Fast to get to them.
Driving very fast to get to these places when I was late and whatnot, which only happened a few times. And then all of a sudden, just all gets cancelled, everything. And the group chat just goes silent. The last thing the drummer says is, "Can you believe this shit?" That's the last message on there.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then that's it. And so they've both gone now, and I've put in a lot of effort for nothing. But on the positive side, you know, I got lots of experience.
Yeah.
But
At least the only like silver lining I can think is that at least there wasn't like a load of money sunk into it. At least you didn't have like a load of recordings planned or something that you could now no longer do.
Yeah.
I just saw the
If it
usernames
was
that
like
Neil set.
recordings booked at a time and then quarantine completely wiped that, and then they had to go back and like uni, that would have been worse. Or like you could have had a tour booked or something like that.
Luckily, it was literally just like an end of year recital kind of situation. Like they were just going to play, you know, what the songs that they'd written. But yeah, no, it wasn't the best. But
would that have been your first show with that band? Or like
literally,
show,
there was two recitals planned, and there was But hey ho,
it is what it is.
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 I'm just surprised that we lasted more than that one gig, because I'm pretty sure me and Lewis originally had this whole plan of Rogues being a one and done thing.
Or like a kind of revolving door thing.
Yeah.
So I remember after we played the first gig, and Mika sort of cheekily came over with a little bit of money and was like, "By the way, they've asked us if we want to do another one." And then we did the other one, and it was like, "Oh, Quentin's expressed some interest," and we're like, "Well, I guess we're doing a horn gig."
It's doing a horn gig.
We got a fucking headline.
I mean, if we hadn't, I mean, I'm glad it wasn't one of them, because if it was, then we wouldn't have done Strange Bones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was saying
that our last gig we did? That was our last gig.
That was the last gig we done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude?
Which that one felt. Did you?
Bobby. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was great. In the mosh pit.
I remember that.
So the two times that I've seen, I've actually seen them 3 times, but the first time was like back in the Arcadian days. It was when they were a lot younger.
Oh shit!
But yeah, I saw them at Wilkstock, and I got headbutted by Bobby because he jumped off of the rigging, and we all went to catch him, but his head like whiplashed, and I was underneath him, and it just nutted me. Obviously, he was fine, but I was like, and then when we were going in for the mosh pit for the gig that we played with them at, I was like, I've got to get seriously injured by Bobby again. It's got to happen. And then he did. He kicked me in the face. And
I think I saw that. I saw that happen.
Because he was jumping back over the barrier from when he'd gone into the mosh pit, and his legs like frog kicked out and just caught me. I was like, oh, thank you.
Wait, Lewis looked like he sounded about to make a point. He said something about the gig. Yes.
He's frozen.
Lewis,
sorry, boys. Apologies.
Lewis is frozen. Lewis, you're about to make a point, Lewis. You said something about the Strange Bones gig. You said
which one?
Something. The one we played with them.
I don't know.
What do you mean, which one?
You said like, oh, that gig was, and then we cut you off.
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah, no, that gig I felt was not to put a downer on it, but I felt that gig was our least kind of like our least kind of cohesive one, you know.
It was our tightest, but it was our tightest in the sense that it was the latest gig we've done, so we were obviously tighter.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as tight as it should have been given our trajectory.
Yeah,
we were on.
Then we were at our first gigs, but we didn't. I think it's because we could put a load of pressure on the gig, thinking, "Oh my god,
we're supporting Strange Bones." Yeah.
I mean, also, it didn't help that we were very underprepared because of the time.
Yeah,
I was stuck at uni. Lewis was stuck at uni.
I was at uni.
Yeah, we were. We shouldn't have done it in realistically.
I mean, I came down for that in between 2 exams I had at uni.
Yeah. Thank you, Neil.
So it was like, yeah, it was.
It's weird. I remember saying this when we were very drunk, very, very drunk in Leeds. I remember saying that from my point of view, because I think it was Aidan and Mia said to me like,
Can we see, just look how Lewis is frozen?
Lewis is
sake.
freezing.
Yeah.
I think it was Aidan and Mia said to me like, you guys asked me what was up that night or something, but you said, oh, I looked a bit off on stage or something like that.
Yeah, it was
like.
It was a little bit. I think Mia was saying, because I didn't notice much being up there, but
Yeah.
Mia was saying like you didn't have as much of the like loose and sort of easy.
Yeah,
makeup.
I was
like you looked a little bit more a bit sort of highly strung.
Yeah.
We stopped being Chads and we started being virgins.
I'm right.
No, there was a legit reason for that, other than like the obvious fear that you get of any gig. It's because my amp was above Lewis's amp, and the cable connecting from hi Morgan, from hi mate.
Hello Morgan, they say.
There you go. So my cable from my pedal board.
Actually, I'm plugging that on here shamelessly.
What?
Plug it.
This guy's art. It's my dad's art. It's very cool.
Yeah, add him up. It's fucking
Mika
beautiful.
loves it. Mika, I'm sure.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a Lewis.
Lewis, that's a magic trick.
That's a magic trick, bro. I mean, David Bowie follows your dad on Instagram, for crying out loud.
Well, not anymore.
He's dead.
Oof.
I'm sorry. I love Bowie. I shouldn't have said that. Oh no.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Too
4
soon.
years.
4 years, man.
That
Just
whiskey got me acting different.
Oh, yes.
The references.
Hair behind my ears. Otherwise, my headphones don't fit on my bloody head, do they?
Oh no. Yeah. The reason why I was really high strung that night was because Lewis's my amp was on top of Lewis's, and it was really taut and tight, and
you were literally highly strung.
Yeah, literally highly strung. And
you should have asked, because I had the really, really long cable for that gig. We should have switched.
Well, now you fucking tell me.
Well, I mean, you've only just told me this. So.
I thought you knew, because when we were doing sound check, it was so tight, the cable board to my amp, that my amp collapsed over completely onto the floor.
I remember that because sound check ended. Like, as soon as it ended, I tried to walk off stage, and my leg caught in his fucking cable and pulled his. That's
absolutely the last thing I needed for the end of the sound check.
And Lewis had to stay in the corner the whole night.
Yes, I didn't move. Yes, Neil.
Yeah.
You're talking about staying in corners and shit like that. Not only do I normally have to sit down for gigs, but I also, for that gig, had to get through these two fucking Goliath screens on either side of the drum kit.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing.
That was massive thing. Do you have an idea? Especially because when we walk on stage, I'm always the first one to walk on because I take the longest time to get around. It's very hard to look cool walking onto stage when you like put your leg up like fucking that to get over this fucking screen.
That's not as bad as the first time we played. So this was, I think, the first time we played at the Horn as a band, then Howl, but now Skeleton.
Yeah.
But the first time we had Will and Callum with us was doing a support slot for a band called Everyone You Know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
when we were given that slot, we were like, oh, they're kind of cool. And then Luke Hinton was like, they're really big. And we were like, okay.
Yeah, you had a huge crowd.
No, they're like bigger than you think. And we were like, okay, cool. And then we actually got to the gig, and then it suddenly hit us. But they basically had they had two drum kits, and they had, because there was the normal drum kit for everyone else, and then there was their drum kit, which had like a load of
on the tiny horn stage.
Yeah, and a DJ fucking like desk. And then all of their amps, and because they were headlining, obviously. And the thing is, we kind of stupidly, by listening to their music and by their sound check and everything, we kind of assumed that they were going to be assholes. And then we met them backstage, and they're actually really, really nice. Like, it was basically one guy, and then I think it was like one guy.
It's two guys, isn't it? Or three guys.
And then a couple of other people that are like support. And then he obviously had like all of his crew and everything. And we knew that he was like quite big because everyone came in and did everything for him, and he literally just turned up.
You know it's real.
He wasn't even there for sound check. He just turned up for that thing. But yeah, he was actually really, really nice. And I've got a picture of Isaac holding a massive handful of tea bags, because they had like a big bag of tea bags.
Like a rider.
Yeah, like huge. But yeah, we had no space at all. Like, Callum had to climb through two drum kits to get to where he was sat.
Callum's a big guy as well. Like,
he's long.
Tall lad.
He's not large. He's long.
He's tall.
And Isaac obviously had Isaac was literally standing in a little spot for himself, and then the pedal board, and that was it. He couldn't move. And then obviously Will is huge and was like tangled up in his bass guitar with all of his hair and the cables. And I was so fucking stressed. And actually, Luke Hinton, it was very sweet. He gave me a little pep talk before because I think I was venting to you, Mika.
I don't think I was there for that one. I wasn't there for that one. No.
I was venting to somebody because they came down. They were like, "Oh, you all right?" And I was like, "No, I'm really stressed," because our sound check was literally, it was like 2 minutes long. We got up there, we played a little bit, and they were like, "Cool, that's you done." And I was like, "You're kidding me." But yeah, I was really stressed because there's no space up there. It's really hot. We barely had a sound check. We're not ready. And Luke Hinton gave me a little pep talk. He was like, "Don't worry about it. Just play the gig." And up until that point, it was probably the best gig we ever played. We just, as soon as we like hit the first chord, we were just like, time to go.
That's nice as well to have for your first gig as a band.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
It was our first gig at
as a
I
full.
think the very first gig you were at, Neil, and you actually did a bit of drumming for us. It was the one in London.
Oh yeah.
You drummed?
Yeah. So basically, we finished, and it was really sweet. Actually, people just didn't want us to leave the stage. There was a guy at the front that was offering to buy us drinks if we stayed on and kept playing.
Dude.
So me and Isaac
You guys were very good then.
Okay. Oh, thanks, man. It was like, it was the gig where we sort of just got a load of adrenaline because we were suddenly a band and we were like just on fire. But it got to a point where we had played everything we had rehearsed. So Will and Callum went down, and me and Isaac started playing Under the Bridge, and Neil just like crept past me, like, "Oh, excuse me," sat on the drum kit and just started drumming because he knows the song, and it was beautiful.
So that's the thing. Like, this was that was really weird because I, like, when they started playing, I knew the song, and I saw Callum walk off stage and go backstage, and Will go backstage as well, and I was just there like, shit, like I don't really know what to do here because like I know the song.
Yeah.
And I can see Callum sticks on the drum kit, but like, I started off being like, "Nah, I shouldn't do that." And I was kind of looking over at it, and then someone next to me was like, "Is there any drummer here?" And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe I should go up."
Yeah.
and then I didn't know what to do, and then like it got to like 3/4 of the way through the song, and I was just like, "Fuck it." And I know what happened was I made eye contact with Isaac, I believe, and Isaac just kind of went. Yeah. So I kind of motioned to the drum kit, and I just kind of went, "Fuck it." So
that was great.
That was
I was only up there. I was only up there for like a chorus, so there wasn't really much point.
That was a night actually.
Yeah.
We had 3 bands booked, right? And then last minute they booked a 4th guy, and then after we'd got there and we sound checked, 2 of the bands cancelled at the same time because one of the bands broke up, literally just before the gig broke up, and there were 5 pieces as well, I think. So that must have been a big argument.
Yeah.
And the other guy was a solo act. He was supposed to go on first, but he it was so funny. He called and I overheard the conversation. He was a plumber, right? And there was a gas leak at the place that he was at, so he wasn't allowed to leave until the gas leak was fixed. But he couldn't fix it on his own, so he had to wait. And he was basically like, "I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future, waiting. So I'm probably not going to make it to the gig." So I felt really bad, but Callum Walsh played a set, and then this other band, like the only other band that was there, played a set, and then we played. But it was nice because it meant that like suddenly we just had as long as we liked to play.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was a good night, very good night.
Dude,
that was a very good gig.
I was so gutted. That was one in London, right?
Yeah.
Is that London you played? Yeah.
A place called the Raven near Tower Bridge, which is it's
nice.
A nice venue. It's like a kind of basement venue, nice room because it's like one of those sort of long basement corridors.
It had a good vibe.
Yeah.
It was a nice vibe.
It was like that was the first time I'd heard you like properly sing as well, I feel, because obviously I've seen you do backing vocals, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
And you just started belting that. I think you did it all along the Watchtower or something, and like this massive growl. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. It's nice because like you got to be careful with it though, because when I first started doing that, it's easier to hit a note with distortion because obviously like your voice is broken up, so it doesn't need to be clean because it's harder to keep something clean. So it's easier to hit notes with distortion, but that's not what you're supposed to do because it ruins your voice. You have to you have to have the flexibility to be able to hit it clean before you add distortion into it, because otherwise your throat doesn't heal properly. And like the first few times that I ever played that song, I just tore up my throat so much. And now I can do it, and it's fine. It's not too bad. But I just look back on it and I'm like, ooh, not too bad.
I mean, like you say about like the adrenaline of that moment, I think that's what happened with me. for the first gig.
It's insane when you
Like-
just like all of a sudden you were just like perfect.
Yeah. I remember that. It just sounded really good.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was just like this guy is like fucking grease lightning.
I mean, also we never heard his vocals before because we couldn't. He
Yeah,
never had a mic.
he never had a
right?
mic.
Have a mic as well.
So it was literally Pandora's box. We're like, shit, this can go
Yeah.
either fucking
Also,
way.
Speaking of crowded setups, our first gig at the Fighting Cocks where we're all packed.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
forgot about that.
All our
Yeah.
gear
Yeah.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
Remember, and there's a really nice picture of me and Lewis, but we're both like completely tangled up in each other.
You're next to each other.
I
it's
thought
a
you were about
really-
to say me and Lewis butt naked. But,
Oh,
I
you
would
know,
like
that
that,
was later on. That was
personally.
later
That
on.
was later on, yeah.
Ah.
The Swan, 3
Oh
a.m.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But no, that gig
Lewis,
was crazy.
Aiden, naked with some
Okay.
protein granola.
Protein
D-fuel.
granola.
Enter this code.
Try and find this picture 'cause it's a
Nah,
really nice
for
picture
real.
of me and Lewis, but like
Yeah.
you can see that we're literally standing like within each other.
I think was
Like-
this the one where like
Yeah. That was,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
was right.
yeah.
You can't see me there, but I'm right in front of Aiden. Like,
Yeah.
right in
the
front.
thing is,
Yeah,
I was very
honestly.
gassed because of that because I was used to playing, you know, because in a three-piece in
Yeah.
Wink, it was just like me, Seb, Mia, and we were very, you know, spread out. Everyone could see us,
Yeah,
and
it's
for
nice
that
to
first
see
Rogues
you.
skit, I could just be at the back, just doing my shit, and it was
Yeah.
great. I really enjoyed that.
Was that the first gig you'd done not with Wink? Lewis?
Ever.
No, you played Purple. You played the Purple one time, didn't
I
you?
played with River. I played with you and
Oh
River
no, as in
Purple.
like with your own kind of
Uh,
separate band, like not just filling in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Actually, must be. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, probably.
Shit.
That
That's
first
crazy.
gig, though,
I just.
as soon as there was like the drum fill, I
Boom,
can't believe we
boom,
opened our
dum,
first.
Oh
this
yeah,
is the
like,
best way to open first song of first gig with just a wham like drum intro.
Just a drum fill. Oh God. I do.
Major nostalgia, man.
I know.
That's crazy.
I remember how.
I'm
I
gonna
remember-
call the first kid Rogues Gallery.
I remember how hot that day was. I remember how stressed I was. I remember
You were
It's
very
weird.
nervous.
I was. Oh yeah. I
We
always
were
am
all very
nervous.
nervous, I think.
I don't remember the gig. I just remember before and after. I don't remember the gig.
I
don't
was
remember it.
Oh,
I was
I remember the
nervous
gig.
until I talked. I was not nervous until I talked to Lewis like 20 minutes before we went on, because then I realized that neither of us knew what the songs were in the set list.
yeah.
Like,
I remember. I'm not sure if it was our first gig or our second gig, the Fighting Cocks, but there was a point where I was meant to start a song and I just didn't.
Yeah, because I was
You guys
pointing
all
at you.
You guys all looked at me and I was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
You done that. You done that
it was
thing where, like,
it was a transition as well, so it was just, we
But
left
I-
on this hanging note, and you just
Literally.
didn't come in for
So I
like, many
remember-
seconds.
I remember I done a pose. I turned around and looked at you, and Neil with his sticks was like, and Aiden with his guitar was like, and then Lewis just went,
I had
"Oh,
no
yeah,
clue.
right."
Oh dear.
It was
me.
great. It was great.
I really, honestly, these last few days, I've been missing Rogues stuff so
Yeah.
much. Like, I miss rehearsing at Neil's house. I miss doing all that kind of stuff, just sorting things.
When they
out,
allow-
sorting
when
things
they
out.
allow-
I miss rehearsing at Neil's house a lot.
Yeah.
I miss it. I really
I-
do.
This is the longest time I've gone without playing a gig since the start of uni. I think.
Probably same here, man.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the longest time I've gone without playing a gig in my life since I started.
Since you started.
Yeah, I think you need that clarification.
Yeah. Yeah, I was playing gigs at like 2 months old.
I played the spoon of the womb.
Just someone put a
Yeah.
mic in front of your face while you're like crying.
Yeah. I didn't
That
cry
was
as a
it.
kid.
You can
I was like,
actually
Jesus.
hear.
I just
You can
like-
actually hear Aiden crying sampled in "Through the Wire" by Kanye West.
You can hear
Wow.
you can hear Aiden crying on OK. It sounds like
It's actually Aiden's surrogate child from the
Mate,
past.
if you want to hear me crying, just wait for Mustard Yellow.
Oh, dude.
Mustard
When-
fellow.
That's
when
custard
is
fellow.
how long do we have to wait?
I think the person you hear crying is Isaac. Hear him crying through the guitar. Honestly, when he
Well,
when
his
he played
guitar
the
gently
guitar solo
weeps.
for that, I was like, that's like, just the feel of that solo is like somehow he managed to make the guitar sound like the exact feeling that I wanted the song to put across.
So beautiful. It's the Fleetwood Maxwell's, right?
Yeah.
It's the Fleetwood Maxwell's.
I still can't believe.
Solos like Maggot Brain, like that.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it took me so long to realize that it wasn't called Master Jello.
Well, like there's a whole
It genuinely
thing.
took me
Master
so
Jello.
long to realize it wasn't Master Jello. Like every time I heard it, I was like, I must be hearing that wrong.
They didn't-
I just couldn't be bothered
It's
to
a different
ask.
name now. Like Busted Cello, I think is my favorite one.
That probably would
Skeleton,
not have helped.
Skeleton have got a song called Mahogany, but I call it Misogyny.
Oh, but Mahogany is such a
Misogyny.
nice song.
Twisted
Mahogany
nuts of
is
celery.
a great song.
Am I wrong in saying that you're quite a big Chili Peppers fan, Neil?
I was in the sense that they were like one of my first bands that I fell in love with. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan now, but yeah,
I think
they're an
that's right,
influence.
because Mahogany is like Isaac basically wrote that when he still is really into Chili Peppers, but Mahogany is actually one of the oldest band songs that we have. Technically, Crocodile Tears is a little bit older, but we don't really consider that one of our proper songs. So I think out of the ones that we consider like complete and professional, Mahogany is the oldest one, and Isaac wrote that when he was first like really, really getting into Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Because it's all like triads and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of John Frusciante in there. So I wasn't surprised when he said that was your favorite one. I was like, that's it. That's fine.
I think it's definitely changed to okay now. Like, I've listened to that song way too many times.
Yeah, but
Mainly because it makes me feel mainly because it makes me feel very solemn, and I do spend my days revising now, so that does fit into my current mood.
Mate, if OK is like one of our happier songs as well. Like the other ones are either like sinister or just sad. I can't think of any happy songs.
Mate, I'm in Overcoast. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna say.
That's true.
Ollie's lyrics for the last song we wrote that we were gonna record is called Forgiveness, and it's like we just played it for the first time.
Grim.
Yeah, but the lyrics are like about beating this shit out of someone. Like I believe the
I
first
remember
lyrics
this.
to the
You told
song.
me the story behind it.
Shit, yeah, I remember the story behind this too. Yeah.
The first lyrics to the song are was it?
I remember you telling me.
I'd
this, and I
like
was
to
like,
give you
oh,
the caress of I'd like to give you the caress of my fist,
Yeah,
or something like that.
caress on my fist. Was that it?
Wait,
Yeah.
were
No.
Overcoast?
I know. I asked the tarmac to give you a kiss because you don't deserve the caress of my fist. That's the first two lyrics of the song.
Nice.
It's like, ooh.
I like that.
He's come a ways.
Have Mika, have you seen Overcoast live?
Oh,
I still haven't.
Have any of us seen Overcoast live?
I haven't, and I keep telling
Okay,
you need to do it.
No,
well,
Because
we
I-
can't right now, Neil.
Weird. Yeah.
No, right now.
Yeah.
Go to your local venue.
Support
They're
your
not
locals.
open, mate. They're not open.
We're not even there, but go. What's it like for that little risk, eh?
I'm going to go there right
Edit that out. I don't
Oh.
look like someone I'm condoning.
Here I am. Play for me. Oh, shit.
Hopefully we will be releasing more stuff. In fact, has anyone? Oh, I don't know. Is this spoilers? Has anyone here got stuff that's ready to release?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or has the
Yes.
spanner been
Yes.
put in the works of everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, what was the last
Yes.
bit of that question?
So, like, have any of your bands, if it's not too spoilery, have any of your bands, Neil, got stuff that is like available to release before lockdown ends, or is literally everything on hold until then?
No, so the problem is we've got songs that we practiced all privately, 2 clicks and everything, and actually been ready to go into the studio for.
Yeah.
And literally the day I was going to email send emails out about recording while on tour. And then the day before tour started was when I got ill with all the coronavirus symptoms.
Oh shit.
And then, so obviously tour got cancelled. I was too ill to do anything about it. And then like 2 days later, they announced the lockdown. So we literally just missed it. But because like for Glassflower, all like we're recording all the guitars and stuff at home. So it just needs to be drums in the studio.
Shit.
Which
So
is annoying.
Overcoast haven't, but Skeleton kind of has, and Wink definitely has, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm slightly out of touch with what Wink has actually released because Mia just sends me shit. So like when Morning Stroll dropped, I was like, yay, at least when I listen to it, it will give you views from it now. Because I've been listening to it for like 2 or 3 weeks. Because
We've had Morning Stroll for quite a long time.
You were saying about like me being on edge and stuff for Strange Bones and us not being there entirely. Even though I don't think it was our best, I think that Strange Bones gigs was the most important to us because I think, especially now we got all the time in the world to think through it. We now have time more than ever to go, okay, here's what we can do better. Here's where we went wrong. We're not going to be perfect, but this is how we can be a lot stronger.
I think the right way to look at it is it was our best gig yet on paper in terms
most
of
important
what we did
as well.
But also in terms of tightness and everything and musicianship, it was our best gig.
I think we got paid the most for that gig as well.
Yeah.
So it's like on paper, like you said, our most successful
in every way our most successful. But the
And
fact
like,
that we know we can do better, and yet that was still our best, just shows that our standards have risen, and that's only a good thing.
Yeah.
Because for standards to rise, you have to have done well.
And it's like we got so many compliments that night from strangers to the bands we played with. Like we got so much love that night. You know, it made it so worth it. Because I remember right after we finished, me and Aiden got ourselves in a little bit of a rut. So then 10 minutes afterwards, everyone was just like, "What do you mean? You guys are good?"
It's only ever a good thing, and this is like, because I guess weirdly, despite being probably the newest to music out of everyone here, in terms of like Mick, I know you haven't performed. Well, yeah, but you listen to music a lot.
Oh
That's the thing. Like I didn't really until. Well,
but
like,
I was actually deaf until the age of 18.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to shit like Tiger until I was 15. So like,
wow,
it's quite bad. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong if you like Tiger, but it kind of is.
No,
just I hate you and everything you stand for. But
so much.
Aiden's had enough whiskey that you could light a match next to him and he'd fucking burn his house down. So, like I think like given that I've been in a shit ton of bands that haven't gone anywhere, given my fact that I've been at uni and I've been able to do that, like Lewis had a taste of it. Like when you're at uni, you can kind of do that where you have like a project where nothing really comes of it aside from one or two gigs, or in your case, unfortunately, none. But like, even if you had those gigs, even if you had those gigs, though, it'd have only been like one or two, and it would have.
Yeah, true.
Like, you had that kind of vibe to it, and I've had 3 years of that. And once you do that enough, I feel like you come to realization that if you do a gig and you think it went shit, but other people are like, really, then that's only ever a good sign.
Yeah, fully, mate.
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword because sometimes you can tell when somebody's like. You can tell that if you played a good show and somebody was complimentary and you played a bad show, that person would still be complimentary. So I really, really appreciate it when you'll play a show and you know it was bad and you go out to your friend and your friend will go, that was probably the worst show you've ever played. And you go, yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, and you weren't like, oh man, it was great. Because then you can't trust that person to like tell you when you fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you only ever have people going like, oh, it was fucking great. Man.
Yeah, for real.
This is one of the
shit show. You're not gonna learn.
This is why I love and drink with people like Ernie and Ben Waters.
For me, it's Dan Higgins.
Dan
George
as well.
Barone as well. They're both the sort of people that will say, first of all, well done for playing the gig. Like,
literally
enjoyed it, and then afterwards say, like, if you want, like, if you want to know what we didn't think was good, this is good, this is bad.
Yeah.
And then when you know you've had a fantastic gig is when you go to those people and they say, like, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like you have a reliable way of sort of gauging how good you were.
Yeah.
Me and Lewis were talking about this a while back because we were talking about the difference between Battle of the Bands in St Albans, which I'd never been to, and at Warwick, which he'd never been to, obviously. And we were talking about that, and I'd showed him some of the because I think one of the key differences was that the ones at my uni had like comments from the judges.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a thing. And they are brutal and they're savage, but you need that. And like, because that's the thing that River Purple had when we started, was we thought we were the shit because all our friends said we were good. But obviously all our friends are going to say we're good, like they're our friends. And then we got into Battle of the Bands and the judges just like, this was fucking trash. Like, this was the worst thing I've ever seen. And
honestly,
like, it's harsh, but you need that.
Literally, that's why I think it was the most important, that Strange Bones one. Because remember the drummer, I had a chat to Bobby and the drummer as well. He was just like, how long are you boys been playing for? This is the drummer. And we're like, oh, this is our 5th ever gig. This is my 5th ever gig. And they were just like, okay, yeah, so you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Just keep doing this.
Honestly, I never ever tend to respond to positive criticism at this point.
Because
it's just like why bother? Like, you know, to be fair, with
Jules
Wink,
already knows that he's absolutely legendary and like the best there is.
Fuck off.
Dude,
I think we
like,
should always like be able to give criticism and take criticism, because
yes.
like when I after a gig, I'm always looking for somebody to tell me something that we could have done better.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're up there,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't,
Especially
if
for me
you
and my
know,
voice.
then you can do it yourself. But there are things that will be not necessarily problems, but things that could be better that you won't be able to tell from up on the stage.
Yeah.
And you need somebody else to tell you them. And if all
Literally.
your friends, like, bless them, if they're lovely and they just want to be super supportive, they're not going to criticize you. So you need those couple of people that will be like,
Yeah.
it's good.
There's a thing also when, like, following on from that, where if you've written the songs yourself, or you've
Yes.
played an integral part in writing the songs, obviously you've written it because you like it and you think it's good.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you've just written a song, I find, like, obviously after you leave a song for a while, you might come back to it and think, in hindsight, that's shit, or
Yeah.
not, whatever. You might have a more balanced view. But once you write it, like, I feel like you might have an attachment to it, and it's good to hear that unbiased view from someone.
It's like it breaks out your bubble, and it's the same thing I was saying to, again, people like Ernie and Ben, who I sort of who go to me even with criticism or like feedback. I remember after that Strange Bone, Ernie's awesome, and so is all the Bison gang and that lot off the side. But I remember after the Strange Bones gig, I was like, oh, I wish I walked more on that monitor. I wish I'd sung this bit a little bit better. And then I remember Ernie and Ben were like, okay, why? What do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I want to be like Josh Homme meets Nick Cave. And then they're like, no, stop that. Shut the fuck up. Stop. Because that is self-comparison and the complete ignoring of what you want and what you do. That's the thief for joy. And then I remember this, and it was so good. It's one of the best pieces of the best things anyone's ever said to me was from Ernie. It was either Ernie or Ben, I can't remember, because I was a bit off it, a bit drunk that night afterwards, but we all were. And I remember either one of them going like, yeah, like, you're not great, but you're not shit. He shook my hand and walked away. And I was like,
Rogues Gallery, you're not great, but you're not shit.
But I was like, okay.
Honest, bro.
No, but like that literally, that lit such a fire, such a positive fire under me. I was like, okay, wow.
It's good because you need those like balanced kind of backhanded compliments.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
but it's like he said it with
insulting, but at least it was
no,
true.
because he said it with a wink and shook my hand and got in the Uber and walked away. Like, he saw, you're not shit.
Definitely Ben.
And then that was Ben. It was Ben.
Like
it was definitely Ben.
A bit grittier than that.
And he would just go, it's fucking shit. It's fucking shit.
He would tell you it was shit and then sit you down and have a fag with you and tell you why.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. I think especially as vocalists, it takes a long time to stop just doing impressions of other people.
Oh, dude.
For the first like few months of me, I say few months, like the first nearly a year, first like 9 months, I was mainly doing covers, and it means that you're basically just doing impressions of the vocalist that you like. And I think it does happen with like guitar as well. I don't know about bass and drums because I don't play as much of that kind of stuff, but it happens with the guitar when you learn the licks of like your favorite guitarists, and you do that sort of thing, like you learn the scales that they use, you learn the licks. And it's the same with vocals, but with vocals it's harder to make it your own, because if you're just doing an impression of another person, if you only ever do an impression of that person, you just sound like you're trying to do
that person.
It's definitely
original songs and singing like for me it was Alex Turner.
For me it was Josh Homme. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like, if you're just doing an impression of them, you don't sound like you. And I remember Dan specifically saying to me, like, after one of our gigs, he was like, I'm happy because you actually have found like your own thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when that happened with Isaac as well, he just stopped sounding like Slash and Jimi Hendrix.
It's definitely
like he got his own thing.
It's definitely a thing with other instruments. Well, I can't speak for the extent to which I think you might have a point there with it's harder when you're a singer to find your own thing, because I think there's more you have to worry about than, let's say, with drums, where you have to worry, where you guys have to worry about tone and stuff like that. Whereas the drums, if I hit it in the center, it's going to hit the same fucking sound each time. Yeah. But
and with vocals, you have accents that come into play as well. So if you're mimicking an American, it's going to sound like you're American because you're
exactly.
British.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into that, but like it definitely does hold into play, I think, everywhere in music to an extent, where like, so for like, I've been playing in bands for 3 years now, I guess, and it only took till this year for like very close friends of mine who I've had through those 3 years to be like, I feel like you're only now finding your kind of style as a drummer. and I feel, and it definitely comes from the same thing of you like for a certain period of time when you're playing, unless you actively make an effort to break out of that, you will just copy or assimilate things that you've heard.
Yeah, like literally, like it's really bad because in my time at home singing, I've finally started to learn more about my own voice. But the problem is
It's
my own
really
voice.
Satisfying, though.
It is satisfying.
I'm a massive believer in it's not what you play, it's how you play it.
Yeah,
exactly. Like,
And like you've got your own way of how you present your music, and you need to find that over anything. I feel.
yeah.
As with everyone.
If you're writing a song and you're like, oh man, this sounds like, I don't know, this band. So like, I don't know, me and Isaac have been writing a song, and Isaac's lead line, it's like, man, that really, really sounds like Led Zeppelin. And then I think like, oh, I don't just want it to sound like Led Zeppelin. We've got to change it somehow. And then I think, no, because we couldn't sound like Led Zeppelin if we tried, because I'm not Robert Plant.
Yeah.
I can't fucking sing like that. So by the time we've got the whole band in it, you know, Callum can't fucking Callum's a good drummer, but he can't drum like John Bonham.
No,
So,
no.
you know, we put it all together, and even if the basis of it sounded like Led Zeppelin, it's not going to sound like Led Zeppelin finished product because we're different people.
Yeah.
So even if to you at first it sounds like Frank Carter, when by the time it goes through all of us and it gets onto stage, it's not going to sound like a Frank Carter.
It's worth saying worth saying that that's worth checking just to make sure. But you know, for the most part, I'd agree with that. That when you know, you should always work through an idea. I feel like if assuming you have the time, you should always try and work through an idea just to see if there's anything there.
It's like what we got at the moment.
We're just ginger and wear suits. That's it.
Yeah, you're saying, Lewis?
With Wink at the moment, we've got a song that is effectively psychedelic Born Crumpets-esque. Like Seb's got this big fucking riff, and it goes really hard, and it's got this really good like bass line and this really good like riff in the verse, and that leads it all back into the chorus. And I don't know, it sounds great, but you know, as much as it sounds like it could be a psychedelic Born Crumpets song, there's a certain thing that makes it your own. And I think that's the same with all bands. Like, you know, so much as you try to kind of like have this kind of homage to someone that you would look up to, you know, whether it be for Rogues Gallery, Frank Carter, or how it could be for Jimi Hendrix or whatever, you're always going to sound like, oh, sorry, Skeleton. Cut that out. But but yeah, no, it's always going to sound like something that is original, even if you are trying to sound like someone else, unless you're Greta Van Fleet.
Yes, and then, but the thing is, Will Stephen, June Logue.
Don't mention that name around me, man. Not Will Greta Van Fleet.
No,
Greta
honestly,
Van Fleet.
Will Stephen said to me, though,
Jesus.
he said they sound like Led Zeppelin, but if you look at their songwriting and their lyrics, it's nothing like.
It's nothing like Led Zeppelin.
Which is true.
But the thing is,
Zeppelin's got all of the folk influence, and it's got like the weird fucking lyrics, and their songs are structured in a certain way. Greta Van Fleet, they sound the same, but the rest
pretty
like all
modern hard rock structure.
But I would argue that's just the case of them having tried to copy Led Zeppelin, as like, let's not sugarcoat it, they have tried to copy Led Zeppelin, but their influence has, from listening to other stuff outside of Led Zeppelin, has subconsciously influenced them.
The thing is, Led Zeppelin
in a different way than the folk.
Other people.
Led Zeppelin are already copying other people. Yeah.
It's like copying somebody's homework that's copied somebody else's homework, and by the time it's gotten to you, it doesn't make sense anymore because it's whispers. It's just
listen, I'm not a fan of Led Zeppelin. People will hate me for that, but I'll be the first to say I'm not a massive fan of Led Zeppelin at all. You know, there's a point when you hear that voice and it's like, how long did it take you to try and mimic that tone to get it that exactly? Like, come on, like that's like, come on. Like it might as well have been an act. It might have been Rami Malek, like preparing for the role of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm gonna have to go now, but before I do, firstly, I love you all.
I love you too.
And I will see you in a week, whether you like it or not. And secondly, I think it would be quite nice to just close with a little, because given this is a Rogues Gallery thing, and you know, this might be a nice thing to have. What's everyone's favorite Rogues Gallery song?
One that none of you have heard yet.
That's not an answer. That's a cop out. That's a cop
out.
Cosmic Casino or Saturday Night Saviour, one of them.
What's it called now? Modern Alchemy.
Modern
That's the
Alchemy
one.
now.
That's
Modern
the one,
Alchemy.
yeah. That's
Which
the
one's
banger.
that? Is that Cosmic Casino?
The one that is-
That jam at
The one that goes quarter time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go all in on Saturday Night Saviour just because I've got the added memory of Russ with it.
Because we wrote that together.
I'm
as
gonna-
a, yeah.
That was.
I'm gonna say one that we're probably gonna cut, which is Lipstick Filter. You know, down,
I-
down.
So your favourite one?
That's my other favourite one because I get the nice little bends on it and I get to use the wah pedal.
Yeah.
That's
It's
why-
a
Okay.
nice one.
because
It's
we
an
cut
underrated
it,
one.
I'll go
Petition
with
to bring back
Saturday Night
lipstick
Saviour.
filter. Petition to bring back
Do
lipstick
it.
filter.
Yes.
If I
Heard
find
it
it,
twice.
you know what? I actually will bring it back if I can find better lyrics for it.
I fucking love Lipstick Filter.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. For me,
Lipstick filter.
fuck you. Here's my love.
Switchblade cigarettes.
I hate you.
Trust me, I get a lot more of this from the.
Oh, I
Skeleton
give you
Voice,
so much.
fucking
I give
get
you.
used to
I
it.
know. Right. For me, I don't know. It's weird. I've never really thought about my favorite one. Okay. I'm trying to be serious here, but you guys are being fucks. So apart from the
dear.
ones that I've written and jammed that you haven't heard yet, because I do think they're the best ones. Just wait till I send them over to you. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Send them all.
I have a soft spot for Dead Sea because I know where I was when I had the initial idea of that. There's some pretty some good ideas for that.
Neil,
And
take the hint. Neil, take the hint.
and,
What?
A very subtle hint going on right now.
Subtle hint, boy.
Can you see the hint? Can you see the hint, boy? Can you see it? There's a hint. There it is. Oh boy.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
thumbnail.
I got distracted by my phone.
Thinking about it, I think my favorite one might be.
Yeah.
It became my favorite after I.
Yeah, mate. What's your favourite? Yeah, tell us your favourite. Go on.
I can't do it like this. It's weird.
What's your favourite?
I can't get out. Sick for me.
Tell us your favourite, mate. Yeah, go on.
Okay, please put this down. I don't like this, please.
That's your favourite, mate.
Okay, my
You're gonna
favorite
have
one.
to cut like the last. 20
Neil,
minutes.
stop it.
Oh, my favorite one. It could.
Yummy.
I think because after the sentiment behind it, after I rewrote the lyrics for when we recorded "Don't You Go,"
Oh yeah.
the reason why I wrote that, it's still there and it's still valid, and the message behind it I really enjoy.
I've definitely got ahead now. But,
Right, Neil.
I don't
So do
believe.
I.
Love you, mate.
I don't believe
Love
it.
you.
guys.
You
I love you,
stay.
boys.
Cheers.
It's been emotional, mate.
I love you, Neil.
Have a good one.
This is going to be cursed for YouTube. Absolutely
Put the
cursed.
kids to bed.
And before we cut,
Oh yeah. Go on.
I'm gay.
fuck.
Oh, here he comes. He's gonna hang up, isn't he?
It
He's
took
trying to
longer than
figure
I
out how to
thought.
hang up.
Yeah, I was trying.
I hate you. This is going to be the worst video ever.